Let me see. Can you all hear me now, please? Can you all hear me now? So I guess you missed the few things I first said. So good evening once again, and you're welcome to the day two of Life Upgrade 5.0. I'm excited to be joining again tonight. Yesterday was awesome, it was fantastic, and tonight is going to be another loaded session. Tonight we'll be having Bolu Okunade and we'll be speaking to us on financial intelligence, how you can build sustainable wealth. And I know, regardless of how big your vision is, right, as long as you're a human being, you need money, right? You need financial intelligence, you need wealth, you need to create wealth so that you can go after your dream, so you can push your vision forward, so you can impact life. You need finances, right? And the goal of this tonight's session is to for you to learn, right? There are many people that, like I mentioned yesterday, that beyond trying to accumulate things, you need the right mindset to sustain whatever you're accumulating, right? If you jump up, right, you come down. But if you grow up, you will stay there. So many people want to accumulate wealth, want to get wealth, want to make money. But beyond just attracting all those things, you must become a kind of person. There's a kind of person you must become, right? So that you can accumulate and also sustain what you're accumulating. And that's one of the goal of tonight's session, financial intelligence, how you can create sustainable wealth. And our speaker will be joining us shortly. But before he joins us, please, I want to let me know where your name and where you're joining from and how excited you are for tonight's session. Tonight's session is going to be awesome. Like, it's going to be fantastic. And you're going to learn a lot. So get ready to learn, get ready to be impacted by tonight's session. So let me know your name. Let me know where you are joining. I'm checking the comment section now. Good evening, Miracle. Welcome to day two. Glad to have you here. Good evening, John. Also, great. Glad to let me know where you're joining from. Let me know where you're joining from. I know we have young people from about 30 plus states, right? In our community, ready to learn tonight. So let me know where you're joining from. Is it from the Lagos, Ibadan? Like, just let me know where you're joining from, and let me know if you are ready to learn tonight. If you are ready to learn tonight, this night is going to be amazing. Right. And before we have our speaker, I'll be reading his introduction, his bio shortly. I want you to also share one thing, just one single thing you learned last night, yesterday, day one. Share one thing. Yesterday uh, I spoke about how you can build a life of purpose and vision. So I want to share one thing you learned from yesterday's session, right? Yesterday's session. What do you learn and what are you planning to do? What do you learn from yesterday's session and what are you uh, planning to do from with what you learned? I'm waiting for your. So our speaker is here already. But before I bring him on, just share me one thing you learned from yesterday's session. One single thing you learned from yesterday's session, right? I'm looking at the comment section. I've not seen your response. I'm waiting. Share one thing you learned from yesterday's session. We spoke about building a life of purpose and vision. I spoke about how you can discover your purpose, how you can build your vision. Shobo Wale he said he's glad to be here again. Yes, today is loaded. Right. So without wasting time, I'm going to invite our speaker now, and I want you all to get your notepad ready. Right. Take away any form of distractions. Don't forget, beyond getting quotes and wisdom nuggets, also pick out things you start doing, like have a to-do list, right? From what you'll be sharing tonight, what will you start doing differently? What will you stop doing as you plan towards creating wealth, a sustainable wealth? So very quickly, we've posted his bio, his profile on our group, and I know most of you have seen it already, but I'll just read just a brief bio of his, right? Then I'll bring him up and he's going to share. Some of you have questions, right? Please get ready to ask your questions at the end of uh, his session. So once again, welcome to day two, Financial Intelligence, Creating Sustainable Wealth. So Bolu Okunade is a dynamic TEDx speaker and a visionary entrepreneur shaping the future of real estate and financial education. He is the CEO and co-founder of Z Realty Limited, a trailblazing real estate company dedicated to empowering Gen Z to achieve property ownership. He's also the founder and CEO of Vest Education, a groundbreaking platform that simplifies investment education for all. Bolu's influence has reached over 100 platforms, impacting over 30,000 people, where he has been invited to share his insight as a speaker. He was also a business strategist at Live Simple Business, Academy, a company that successfully propelled over 48 businesses to surpass a billion in revenue within 12 months. Are you seeing how loaded our speaker is for tonight, right? Known for his unique and practical approach to analyzing businesses, Bolu delivers dynamic solution-focused strategies that yield measurable results. He's an advocate for maximizing potential. Bolu is deeply passionate about guiding people to make the most of their prime years and achieve lasting success. His accolades include being 2023 awardee of the prestigious 25 Under 25 Entrepreneurship Awards in the Finance and Financial Technology category. His academic pursuits include completing the Nairobi Business Symposium by Oral Roberts University, USA. He is driven by his mission to empower individuals to attain legitimate wealth through entrepreneurship, inspiring the next generation to build a future of integrity and success. See, I want to start clapping in the comment section, right? You see, our speaker is loaded tonight. He has the experience, and he's not just speaking about the knowledge, he has the experience, practically applied what he'll be sharing with you tonight. So, as I welcome no other person than Bolu Okunade, good evening, brother. Good evening.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Can we hear me?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear, very clear. Thank you for
Perfect.
joining.
I can't see comments, sadly.
Okay. But I'll be
I
displaying
can't
the
see.
comments. I'll be displaying the comments.
Okay, so I'm just going to believe you guys can hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you
Perfect. I
clearly.
see it. Jonoko9906. What is your username? Senior. John Makua Chuku 90. Why the numbers at back of everybody's name? Ridiculous, man. Okay, good evening, everyone. Um, trust you are having a great day. Going to have a really short session with you. I apologize in advance if it's going to be short. Like I told Gavin, I'm extremely tired. We had a 3 4 day session here at Echo Hotel. So I had to, when I was looking at the invite and I said, oh my goodness, it's today. Right. But I'm going to want you to pay a lot of attention because it does have serious capacity to change your life. The things that, not because I said so, but because I know them to be so. If I hold a gun and I tell you the gun can kill you, it's not just because me, I'm holding the gun, it's because it's had a track record of doing so, right? It's had a track record of doing so. But I just hope that you pay so much attention to it, right? I'm a relatively young person, and like I tell people, I didn't really have the privilege to be stupid when I was young. You know, being stupid is a privilege. The privilege is anything that's not available to the general public. That's what we call a privilege. So I didn't have the privilege to be stupid. I've been a serious person since I was way younger, and I've seen it play out. I won't even lie to you. I've seen it play out in very, very valuable ways. All right. We're going to have a conversation with you tonight, and I want you to pay, like I said, a ridiculous amount of attention. This is what I'm telling you to pay a ridiculous amount of attention. Um, because it can change your life. And to have a conversation with you around financial intelligence and essentially how to help you upgrade the quality of your life in such a way that it results in more material gains for you. Are you with me? Right. And the first thing I want to say, write these forwards down: knowledge, wisdom, understanding, and intelligence. Write it down. Knowledge, wisdom, intelligence, understanding, and intelligence. Write it down because they're all different words. Many times our inability to comprehend all these words um, adds to why we don't get to where we want to get to. You know, I heard somebody say something years ago and it transformed my life. Said property is a result. What's a result? You see, large chunk of us are or have, it's either have or are, have passed through the school system. And I don't know about you, but I used to be a relatively serious student when I was in school. And at some point in time, I don't even know that when you've done all there is to do, you've done all the work there is to do, you take your results and then you then show it to your parents at home when you get home. That's if you showed your results to your parents. And sometimes those results will not be the best. When you show them your results, sometimes you don't do well. Apologize. Sometimes you don't do well, and I try to explain to them. Have you heard explanations where people say things like, "I tried my best. I really read hard." How many of you actually genuinely have had some times in your program where you really read hard, you really studied hard, but your results didn't commensurate with your input? How many of you had like that? Sometimes it's maybe because you didn't really read. Other times you didn't really read well. Some other times your lecturer was just an agent of the enemy. How many of you know what I'm talking about? Exactly. So the thing is, sometimes you really burnt the midnight candle, but there was no practical results. So this is another statement I wanted to write, which is why in life, one thing you must realize is that efforts made is not equal to results attained, right? And life does not reward you according to the quality of your efforts. It rewards you according to the quality of your results. And the quality of your results is not directly proportional to the quality of your efforts. The quality of your results is directly proportional to the quality of knowledge backing the efforts that you're putting into life. And I like one of my mentors, he will say, effort is general, results is peculiar. Everybody puts in effort, the rich and the poor, the work, but why do we see different results? It's the same thing. It's because the knowledge backing the effort is more important than the effort. So when people want to change their lives, automatically what they think the first thing to do is they need to work harder. But sometimes you don't need to work harder. What you need to do is the fundamental construct of knowledge that powers your work is what needs to be upgraded. Does that make sense? I want to pause and ask you, am I making sense thus far? Am I making sense thus far? Really important. So that's where you want to start from. And the funny part is, I don't know, and I don't understand it. I've been privileged to speak in a lot of places. Broke people think the solution to no money is more money. And when I try to help people understand, it's not just me generally, you'll find out that I try to explain to you, just give me 2 billion and my life will be fine. Your life will not be fine. That's what you said when you had 2K. I said, just give me 100K. When you had 100K, say, just give me 2 million. When you had 2 million, say, just give me 5 million. When you had 5 million, say, just give me 10 million. So what you'll find out is your lifestyle will always catch up to the discipline of your spending. So you see, well, you just find it like that. So I told you to write down 4 words, right? Gentlemen, what's knowledge? Knowledge is talking about the information about what to do. Knowledge. So I know about something that 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. I know that when addition comes into the picture, I sum it up. When in subtraction, I take it out. 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. 1 minus 1 is equal to 0. So that's what we call knowledge. Knowledge is the information about what to do. Back to us in the university, I always finish my exams pretty early. And when I leave the exam hall, people would hype me that, yo, this guy knows the book. Yeah, I was quite intelligent, but I remember this thing that happens. You don't know the question. If you never seen it in your life, it's not a thing of a trying to remember. You now sit down there and be hoping for a miracle. The miracle wind will blow on your head. So I found out that most of the time, the people who always sat down long to the end of the exam wasn't necessarily because they were smarter, but they were sitting down not knowing what to write with hopes of what to write. And me, I used to tell people I was very busy. So I said, look, I can't lose my time and lose my marks. If I know say, maybe it's a vernacular. If I don't say I don't know, make I stand up, go shop now. I be now. Because I sleep and focus on the exam the next day. Right? So that point in time, I didn't have knowledge. So when you're talking about knowledge, the information required for a particular result. What is understanding? Understanding is the capacity to comprehend the knowledge. So if I throw you a piece of chemistry textbook, or I throw you a piece of something, or maybe an Arabic writing or a Greek writing, if you've never seen Greek before, you can cram everything, but you don't understand it, right? So the way I like to equate it is taking in food and digestion. The food is in does not mean it has been broken down into the vitals and then taken to your bloodstream. Okay, makes sense? You know why this is important? Because a lot of people don't realize that the way life works is there's a lot of knowledge you're going to be able to get, but if you do not have the capacity to assimilate the knowledge, you're going to be able to explain it, but you're not going to be able to become it. All right, you'll be able to explain it, but you can't become it. You can talk about it, you can live it, you can see everything, but the results are going to be lacking in your life. That's understanding. Let's move to the next word. Wisdom. Very simple. Wisdom is the third layer. When you know something and you understand it, what will happen is you have the capacity to then move forward and do what and do it. So all of that in action is wisdom, right? So move to the fourth layer, which is what's the intelligence. Let me pause and ask, what's intelligence? What's intelligence? Let me take 2 3 comments. My camera will go for B, but I'm looking at your comments. So what's intelligence? Let me see. I'm waiting for the comments silently. I know that there's going to be some lag between when I speak or when it actually happens. They're good. So because of time, I'll just move through. What's intelligence? Write this down. Intelligence is the capacity to deploy certain concepts into different contexts. I say that again. Concepts can be deployed into different contexts. Now, follow me carefully because this is where I really want to zoom in on. Because many people have knowledge, many people attempt to understand. Few people are wise because not many people act on what they know, right? So really, don't forget this: your capacity to differentiate yourself in life many times lies primarily within wisdom and intelligence. So back to what I was saying. Now, how many of you had lecturers who, in the exam hall, they'll give you 1 plus 1? So sorry, in the example, by the time you get to the exam hall, they give you 1 times 1 plus 1 divided by 1 square divided by 2. And you're like, let me say it's vernacular. Let's see happen. See where you carry ball, go hang. Right? So you teach you 1 plus 1. That's the whole concept of school. The whole concept of school is to give you concepts and give you examples of those concepts in a context. And what they will now do is in the exam, they expect that you do not cram the examples, but you understand the concepts behind the examples so that when you get to exam, you can replicate the answer. Right? So listen. Every time the context changes and you cannot apply the concept that you think you understand, you're not intelligent, you crammed it. Write it down. Every time the context changes, proof that you're an expert, proof that you really understand the subject is regardless of the change of context, you will be able to deploy the concept that you claim to understand. Let me give you an example. A graphic designer, and you can only design flyer wedding. You can only design flyer for event. What's happening to you, you understand that concept in the context, right? So I tell people until you can go various contexts and replicate the same level of results and excellence, you're not really an intelligent person. And you know what I'm saying is because you see, real life works is that intelligence is contextual. Sorry, compartmental. The other way, are you hearing me? Are you with me? Can I confirm that? I just get feedback.
Yes, we can hear you clearly. Okay, I
It's fine.
guess it's skipping a bit, but we can hear you now. We can see you now. We can hear you.
Oh, apologize again. I'm not in my house.
We can hear you now.
Everybody has learned stuff here. 20 comments. Great. 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 Am I wasting your time? Great. 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 Perfect. Now, let me follow through my train of thought. So now we've talked about wisdom, knowledge, understanding, and then we're the concept of intelligence. And I explained to you that when it comes to the concept of intelligence, uh, once we change the context and you can't deploy, that expands. And see the way life works is let me show you something. Look here. Life works like this. This is how intelligence is. Using here. So if you look at this, there are 4 compartments. This is currently the restaurant. This is salt. This is something I don't know. This is pepper, and this is something I don't know also. Now listen quite carefully. All of them are inside this tray. See that the real issue is you can have salt. If I take this out like this, I have only salt. So that means my food will not lack salt. If I take this out, I have pepper. My food will not lack pepper. Are you with me? But guess what? For a great meal, I need salt, I need pepper, I need all mixed together. So this is it. Many people assume that because they have salt, automatically they have pepper. In the same way, many people assume that because they have intelligence in one area, automatically they're intelligent in another area. Let me split check this.
Okay, I think there's maybe glitch in the network, but can hope everyone is following so far what has been shared so far. Hope you are following. Let me know if you are following the comment section.
Great, sorry. I'm back.
Okay, great. Okay, great.
Right. Back
All right.
back to what I said. So I was explaining to you really important. So people assume that because they're intelligent in one area, automatically translate failures in another area. That's not really how life works. That is not how life works. Right? Proof that that's not how life works is that when you're writing an exam, remember some you got A, some you got B, some you got C. Right? The same results. It means you understood the concepts in um a particular subject than the other. So many people assume another place, I say jokingly seriously, that many people assume they have knowledge is marriage. Ask the average person how many marriage books they've read. They haven't read a lot. They haven't read a lot. You know what is important? Nothing must be assumed to be present. It must be consciously cultivated. Nothing in your life. So it is with financial intelligence. All right? It doesn't jump. You can be intelligent in terms of your work, you can be intelligent in terms of every other thing. But if you don't sit down and actively build it, you're going to lose out on financial intelligence. Quickly, let me run you through 4 very important layers of financial intelligence. Are you ready? Number 1 is vision. When many people want to talk about financial intelligence, many times they talk about wealth creation. No, For wealth creation is wealth vision. You know what is important? Because you see, let me ask you a question. Not many people realize how much does it take to really live a good life? How much does it take? If you earn 100 million naira a year in this country, you can live a very good life. 100 million naira a year is barely about, it's even less than, it's about less than 10 million naira a month. 10 million naira a month to get to 120 million naira a year. So, if you earn 10 million naira a month in this country, you can live a very good life. Live in the union. I'm into real estate. Look at Banana, 3 bed in Banana Island, which is maybe one of the most expensive places, maybe goes for somewhere around 70 million. So if your house rent is 70 million in this country, and you earn 120, you have 50 million to spend. 50 million to spend. Right? So I'm trying to let you see that, look, you don't need a lot of money to live a very good life in this country. You don't need a lot of money. You don't need a lot of money to live a very good life in this country. And so many times, when people want to grow wealth, what they is they have a mental picture of an extra comfortable life. And so the only thing driving their desire to want to grow the wealth is an extra comfortable life. The problem is the kind of, so I say jokingly, I say there's money, there's bastard money. You can make a decent living thinking about yourself. But if you're going to make transformational, transgenerational wealth, you've got to move beyond thinking about yourself a lot to expanding that vision. Expanding that vision. Right? And you see, this thing comes because many of us didn't grow up in the homes where we have a lot of money. And because we didn't have a lot of money, everything we really dreamt of was just to take care of ourselves. We wanted to buy a car, we wanted to live in a nice house, eat nice food, travel out to the country twice a year, thrice a year. Now, and why is that? Because you see, write it down. That's really what poverty does to you. What poverty does to you is to keep the level of your exposure so low, so everything you dream for in life is so small. Because all the while growing up in life, you don't really have much. So for you, what to be the definition of your attainment of success in life is a little bit above the level that you want to be. I'll give you an example. You see, when of us grew up in homes where meat was seen as a reward. You know that, Abi? Meat was seen as a reward. That's why they'll give you plenty rice, small meat. They didn't want to punish you. They will not give you meat. And if they say it's a celebration, they'll give you 2 pieces of meat. Abi now, they give you 2 pieces of meat. But meat is just food essentially, it's just protein. And you need more protein than you need carbohydrate. So really, it should be switched. Your meat should be plenty, your rice should be small. But guess what? The indoctrination of what a balanced diet should, or what a basic diet should look like has been tampered with by the poverty environment that we grew up in. So for many of us, we are at the center of our desire to become extremely wealthy. And what I'm saying is, if you're at the center of your desire to become extremely wealthy, it doesn't take a lot of money for you to meet that. Therefore, the capacity for you to create transgenerational wealth, a lot of money is not going to be there because the thing that is in your mind that you want to create it for is not big enough. It's not big enough. Am I making sense? It's not big enough. Come on into the good life. So the first thing I want to say, expand your vision. Expand your vision. The people who want to change the world, do they have two heads? The people who want to transform the world, do they have two heads? The people who want to disrupt organizations, do they have two heads? You know, I once met a lady, amazing lady, really good friend of mine. She looked at me. She's doing over 1 billion in revenue. She looks at me. She says, "Look, Bolu, I'm not in this industry to make money. I want to transform the industry." Many of us don't really think of such high level of impact because we just want them, let's say vernacular. We just want to be all right. I just want to be all right. You know, I tell my team members, so we're not looking to make money. We want to fracture the industry. We want to make a dent on the industry. You know, you've seen Look at the way OP made a dent. Give me a split second. The banking sector. Apologize. I'm in the midst of a lot of operational shenanigans. Yeah. So back to what I was saying. That's a problem. So I tell people the first job you have when you want to translate your life greatly to become extremely wealthy is not the job of action, it's the job of exposure. You know, and I wrote something like this in my newsletter. My newsletter is free, by the way. I write to 11,000 people. I think every week or every 2 weeks. Depends on how free I am. So you should check it out. Maybe your admission find a way to give you the link. All right, it's free, 100% free. Don't worry. Nobody's selling anything to you. It's not 5K course. All right. So it's exposure. What is exposure? Listen, you can't know you want something except you know nothing exists. But let me give you an example. It was attributed to Henry Ford. Henry Ford said, if I'd asked people what they wanted, they would have said they wanted faster horses because cars had not been invented, so they would not have said cars. So that means the desire of those people could never want cars because cars had not existed. Now I'm letting you know this. Many of you, your desire level is extremely small and corrupted because the environments that you grew up in supplied you a view of the world that is so myopic and so small. So everything that you think you want in life that is big is actually a piece of the cake because that's the piece you're exposed to. All right. So what you need to do now is you need to organize your life in such a way that you can increase desire. When desire goes up, then we can begin to work ourselves to raise our efforts to match desire. So that makes sense because effort cannot exceed desire. Desire cannot exceed exposure. Exposure many times is a deposit of the environment within you. So I tell people the first thing that has to happen is to expand your vision. Many times when you grow up in homes that are hungry, you know, like a lot of us did, your vision is just to buy a nice car, right? Your vision is to have $2 million. Your vision, sorry, maybe 2 million, 200 million, 250 million. But the question becomes, some of you want to have 200 million in the bank. Another person wants to own a bank. Some of you want to buy a car. Another person wants to start a car manufacturing plant. Some of you want to buy a house. Another person wants to own an estate. Some of you can't even accommodate that desire in your mind because you've grown up in the soul fractured. Write something you learned from me so far. I learned in 6 minutes. Next thing I want to pay attention to, give us
Okay, please, are you learning something already? Are you gaining something? Are you gaining something? Let me know in the comment section if you're getting something from the session so far. I guess there's issue with the network where our speaker is, right? But let me know what you are getting so far. Let me know what you have learned so far. He has been sharing a lot of insight, right? He started by letting us know the difference between knowledge, wisdom. He also mentioned about intelligence, right? So let me know what you are learning so far. Let me know what you are getting so far. John is saying what's happening. There's an issue with this network where it currently is, right? There's an issue with the network, but um, we'll be back live shortly. But while we are waiting for him to join again, let me know what you have gained so far. Yeah, my mind is getting exposed already, right? You mentioned something. Say you can't know you want something until you know that thing exists, right? And that's similar to what I was saying yesterday about vision, right? I told you I used an example yesterday about someone that was talking about they want to become a POS operator, someone else want to become a barber because that's the level of their exposure. That's what they can carry. They can't think of global things because their environment or their upbringing has limited them and brought their vision or idea of the world to be very minute, like very small. So our speaker is mentioning something about expanding your vision to build wealth. Start by expanding your vision, right? Your goal should not just be to own a car, right? Your goal should start thinking about building maybe a car manufacturing company. It's just saying expand your vision. So let me know what you're actually learning tonight. Let me know what you are learning tonight, right? It's like we are in the spirit because yesterday I spoke about vision and it's following up on what like building upon what I mentioned yesterday. Because once there's vision, you attract the corresponding wealth for it. So Olatomi says she's learning a lot. I'm getting a lot. I'm glad to hear that. So let me know one thing you have gained so far, right? Force your mind to think, right? This time, apply critical thinking skill. Try to dissect it. Just bring out a point you've learned so far from what he has shared. For example, I'm learning a lot already, right? Especially the idea of to build wealth. First is that expand your vision, the job exposure, and that's why you go to conferences. That's why you travel. That's why you read books, right? That's why you attend programs like this because you start seeing things that are possible, right? You start seeing things. For example, when I was growing up, I know most of you have had my story that I started thinking big because even though I was staying in a local place, right, I exposed myself to books. I read biographies, right? When I was between before 17 years old, I've read over like biographies of different presidents of United States, different innovators the world has, right? I read stuff. So when I was writing vision, I remember I read the story of a man, uh, uh, tough time don't last, but tough people do. Robert Scholar. He built a crystal um, building, right? When he was building his church, it cost millions of dollars. Despite coming from a home background, he thought about it, right? And he built it. So I was thinking, wow, if someone like that can build it, me too, I can build it. I can create something big. I can create this regardless of my background or where I'm from. But it started with exposure. I exposed my mind through reading of books, right? So let me know one thing you have gained so far. Okay, so he's back again and I'll bring him live again to join. All right. Wait.
Follow that. A round of quickly. That's it. First thing is vision. Something expands your mind. Right? Start thinking far and wide. Right? Somebody wants to make 10 million to have a good life. Another person says, I want to help 100 people have a good life. And for 100 people to have a good life, they need to make 10 million each month. For them to make it 10 million each month, that's a billion. Right? So what you think is possible drastically goes up by exposure. It's first thing, right? Number two, I'll tidy up the rest in 2 minutes. Number two is wealth creation. All right, and what's wealth creation? The capacity to convert something into a marketable form that can attract the resources of another person. I tell people, you can make money by, or you can get money forcefully or willingly. The difference between somebody who walks into a store and comes out with something inside his money, comes out with something from the store. Another person goes to that same store, comes out without paying money, is arrested. You know what is important? Wealth creation. Wealth creation is something we must be all keen on. But I don't have a lot of time to explain this. I wish I could sit down on this a lot more. Right? Wealth creation, there are three levels of wealth creation, which is what you do, how you do it, who you do it for. Three things very important. Uh, there's no time, there's no time. But let's leave that. Move on to wealth preservation. Wealth preservation is then it's not how much money you can make, it's how much money you don't lose. Right? So you make a lot of money, but you have the capacity to keep money. And then the third layer that becomes what multiplication. The money that you kept, can you begin to work for yourself? You know, I heard somebody say something. It says there are only two ways to earn money. Number one is men at work. Number two is money at work. Men at work is you going to work, actively earning money. Money at work is money going to work, passively earning money. All right, this financial bent down. You cannot be said to be financially free until your living expenses, or let me rephrase it for you, until your passive income exceeds your living expenses, you're not financially free. Because financial freedom is not having all the money in the world. Financial freedom is having all the money in the world with control over your time. And when your income becomes passive, it means that you choosing to work is because you want to do that work, not because you have to do that work necessarily to earn anything that you're earning. Does that make sense? Apologize. I know this was a back and forth session. Um, I would, I would do something for your convener. I'll guarantee that you invite me at any point in time. I'll come and speak for you because it's been a back and forth, and I have to run now. Is that all right? Public value. Let me see two, three, four, five people type what they learned from this. For some reason, I can't hear you.
Network. Okay. So
So,
thank you very much.
thank
Right, I
you.
understand actually. Thanks so much. So for the few minutes spent with us, we gained a lot already. I gained some insight, and I'm sure everyone joining us learned a lot. So you won't be able to take questions now because of the other engagement he has. But I'm sure that please you can follow him across all social media platforms at Bolu Okunade, right? And gain access to his. You can share the link to me. Okay, I'll share the link or your maybe your Instagram or something like that to your newsletter that they can gain access to it. So thank you for joining. I really appreciate. Thanks so much for the value shared. So please everyone for joining. Let me know what you've gained so far from this session tonight. Our speaker couldn't like stay too long because he is in a it's not in a environment that's conducive, really conducive enough, right? So, well, I'm sure we've all learned something tonight. And if there's something, okay, Adebayo is saying something. He said, I have learned to seek exposure. Yes, right? Seek exposure. You can't dream beyond what you know, right? So for you to dream bigger, to think bigger, right, you have to expose your mind. He didn't have time to talk deeply about the different ways you can do that, but first is that you have to expand your vision, expand your vision. You can expand your vision by like I mentioned before, reading books, attending programs, attending conferences, even traveling, right? Seeking wisdom from mentors, people that are ahead of you. There are different ways. One of the ways you can expose your mind or expand your expand or seek exposure. Are you getting what I'm saying, right? And that's the first. But the second point, I may have know the second point. Let me know who took note of the second point he shared. He mentioned expand your vision. The second point is what? Who can share that? Who can share the second point? I don't see who get that. Anybody that get the second point he shared, right? I'm going to give the person a gift, right? I'm going to give the person a gift. I'm going to give the person a gift after this session. What is the second point he shared? The first point he shared is that expand your vision. But what is the second point he shared? The second point he shared. I'm waiting. I'm waiting. Who's going to get my gift this evening? So, Joy said, if you want to create wealth, start by expanding your vision and level exposure. Yes, he mentioned that expand your vision, level of exposure. And I mentioned something similar yesterday that most people want to make money, right? But once the money comes to your hands, what will you to do, right? If the money meets not in your hands, it will disappear. So that's the first thing. It's not about chasing money or trying to accumulate money. The first is what trying to capture a vision, expand your vision. So, financial vision. Okay, Tolu Oluwatomizi says financial intelligence starts from expanding your vision. Exactly, he said that, but he said a second thing, a second point, a second point he mentioned, not exposure. He said, Shobo Wale said, your big vision need exposure. Get out of that small circle and comfort. Exactly right. Your big vision need exposure. In fact, exposure is what even bring that big vision. Exposure brings that vision, right? So that's why you must get out of your comfort zone. Like one of the things I did was that I said I left uh, Ondo and came to Lagos State because I know Lagos have different. There are various opportunities, right? It has expanded my mind, right? So exposure is important, but there's a second point is shared, not exposure, right? Exposure is part of. You mentioned exposure as part of what is them as part of expand your vision, right? To expand your vision, you have to expose, right? You have to seek exposure, right? But there's a second major point he mentioned. Who can say it? Is this wealth multiplication? Let me just give you an hint for the second one. I'm sure I didn't get it clearly, right? So I want to know who got it clearly. The second point, it was about you said to create wealth, right? What you do, how you do it, and who you do it for. You mentioned that, right, as this explanation for that second point. what you do, how you do it, and who you do to create wealth. What you do, how you do it, and who you do it for. Right. So, Ajoke said wealth multiplication. Wealth multiplication. Let me know. Is that it? Is she correct? Answer if she has won my gift already. Is she correct? Wealth multiplication. Is that second point Mr. Bodu shared? Wealth multiplication. Everybody's saying exposure, exposure, exposure. But exposure is part of the first one, which is to expand your vision, right? That's the first. To expand your vision, you have to expose yourself, right? You can't think or grow beyond what you've seen or know, right? So what is second point? Is what is second point he mentioned? I know some people are trying to scroll back to check when he mentioned, but let me see. And be surely that Joker is correct about that. He also said something. He said that it is not how much you make. It's not how much money you can make. It is how much money you don't lose. That is very powerful. It's not how much money you can make. It's how much money you don't lose. There are people that are making money. Some of you just think about it and calculate how much you have made so far in 2025. Some of you know that you have made millions already in 2025, but what's in your account? Zero naira, right? Because some of you have wasted, spent it, the money came, no plans in your hands. So it's not how much money you make, it's how much money you don't lose. And that's why something about rich people is that they make sure they're intentional about each penny. Why people with poor mindset can waste 5 naira, 10 naira, 20 naira, they don't see it as money, right? Rich people, the wealthy people, they are intentional about every cent, every amount of money, right? Because it's not how much money you can make, it's how much money you don't lose. That's a very important point. Okay, let me say she didn't get the exact point too. So I was not clear about the exact point. That's why I'm trying to know who got it. So leader Joker is can everybody be ascertain if this was second point, wealth multiplication. So I didn't get the heading, but I know I get the definition. You also mentioned there are two ways to make money. Say men at work and money at work. Men at work, that means men at work means you make working like actively to make the money, right? And also the other one is money working for you. And you see people instead of using their energy and time to work towards something, they prefer to pay other people to do the work for them, right? So there's two ways to make money: that men at work, you working actively to make the money, or money at work, your money working, right? Your money at work. And that's why it's good. One of the ways for that your money can be at work is when you investment, right? Investment. You also mentioned that you are not financially free until your passive income exceed your living expenses. That's a very powerful point, right? This is a very, I really love this, right? You are not financially free until your passive income. That means the money, passive income is the money you earn when you're not actively involved in the process, right? Like money you earn from investment, money you earn from like that you that even though you're not working, the money is working, right? That's passive income. You're not working physically, but that money is working, it's bringing yield, is yielding interest. So someone said I didn't get that, not merely working for money, but having money work for you. Yes, exactly. You mentioned that thus multiplying in order to maximize your time. Exactly. He mentioned that too, right? So please, I want other people to share other things they learned tonight. I'm sharing what I learned tonight from this session, right? So for you to be financially free, you have to your passive income must exceed your living expenses. So how much are you spending? Maybe daily, weekly, monthly, right? Your passive income, the money you earn without actively working, must exceed the amount you spend regularly. You spend regularly, right? That's when you can say you are financially free, right? So he couldn't say elaborate much because of the environment he currently is, right? But I'm sure we are going to create time again, probably next year, maybe the first part of next year, so that I can come and share more about how you can create sustainable wealth, right? But with the few points you have shared, I'm sure you have something you can take away with. And I'm glad that everyone have shared different points they can take home. And with that, we'll be ending tonight's session. We couldn't take question and answer, but please follow him across all social media platforms. His name is Bolu Okunade. Follow him on Instagram. I know he's on Instagram. Also follow him on LinkedIn. And then we look forward to having him again next year. We want to have him again next year. So for tomorrow, we'll be having our final session tomorrow. And tomorrow we'll be having Muturayo Akishete speaking to us on artificial intelligence. And I know that beyond everything we've learned so far, you need to have a tool, right, to make your work to work faster, to work better, especially in this time and a digital economy. And tomorrow, Akishete Mutuai will be coming to share with us. She's an AI researcher She has double masters in AI, artificial intelligence, and I'm sure you're going to learn a lot from uh, our session. So Adebayo is saying something about three levels of wealth creation. Three levels of wealth creation. So can you tell us the three levels of wealth creation, Adebayo? I'll be sharing. Let me just share the comment section to see some of the points we are sharing. So Adebayo, John, let me know the three levels of wealth creation. If that's what you gain, tell me the three levels of wealth creation. Wealth creation. Wealth creation. And I love this point again. They mentioned. He said it's about for you to create wealth. It's about what you do. That means what service are you offering? What product are you creating? What you do. You also said that how you do it. That's very important. I not beyond what you do, how you do it. How you do it can be the difference between making uh 5 figures and making 7 figures or 9 figures. How you do it, right? How you do it. And you also mentioned who you do it for is very important. Is very important. There are people that can't pay you. There's a particular amount that people can't pay you. There are people that can't pay the amount. The kind of money you want to make, who can get the amount? Who has that amount in his possession? What service and products can you create that those people need, right? For example, someone that's working as a like doing menial jobs, the amount they can pay you can't be compared to someone who has big companies or work in multinationals that can pay you for it. So beyond for you for to make money, what you do, what are you doing, what product are you offering, what services are you offering, what are you doing, what are you doing, what value are you creating, what are you doing, right? Also, how are you doing it? It's very important. How are you doing it? Whatever you're creating, whatever you're producing, how are you doing it? Right? What is the process behind it? What is the system behind it? How are you doing it? Right? That how you are doing will determine who look for you, who come for you, how you do it, and also who you do it for. And how you do it also talks about how easy you make people feel, also how faster people get it. That's one of the things that you think about when you talk about how you do it. How easy it is for people to use what you have, or how faster or how quick they get it. Do you get what I'm saying? How you do it. Also, who you do it for. Who are you serving with what you have? It depends. It determines how you create wealth. So I don't believe you've learned something tonight. And once again, we'll have another time to have him. That is in the beginning of next year. Tomorrow, I don't want you to miss tomorrow's session. Tomorrow is going to be loaded again. We'll be having Motivayo Akishete speak on artificial intelligence. Don't forget, don't miss it. Some of you that missed this live session, don't forget to watch the replay. Leave a comment as you watch the replay. And as we round up tonight, please don't forget to subscribe to this channel because we'll keep uploading and sharing more insightful and educational videos that will impact you and guide you and also help you on your journey towards destiny. And with that, I know there's no question. Even though there's question, we can't answer the question because our speaker is not here, but it'll be available next on that time we create for him to talk more or shed more light on what he shared tonight. So with that, we come to the end of tonight's session. Till I see you tomorrow for the session on artificial intelligence. Do have a great night and keep